got into an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
an entanglement, an entanglement,
an entanglement with August. I got into an entanglement with August,
an entanglement
with August, with August, with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
an entanglement
with August, with August,
August,
entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August.
Welcome to Off the Record. So we wanted to do an update on the Will and Jada situation since they decided to go on the Red Table Talk. And as you all saw with the remix to Entanglement, Black Twitter didn't waste any time in making a mockery of Will and Jada's situation.
Man, Black Twitter, yo, listen. Black Twitter is one of the most creative places, the most creative group of folks in one area that I've ever seen in my life, yo. Like, to come up with some of the stuff that they do as quickly as they do, yo, they are amazing.
But like, so now entanglement seems to be like the hot word because Jada called her situation with August an entanglement. And how do y'all feel it? Like, Will was sitting there, looked like his eyes were kind of bloodshot, looked like he had bags under his eyes. Like, this is obviously not easy for him, but like, what was your initial thoughts in seeing the clips or watching the Red Table Talk?
Man, Will's face should be like, it should be in the dictionary next to anguish. This is what anguish looks like. This is what complete, utter, like, heartbreak looks like. I mean, that nigga looked like he was hurt just listening to her. Like, he already knew what happened, but just to like hear her talk about it, it's like, yo, if you with somebody and they cheat on you, but you know they cheating on you, but it's like you just gotta hear them say it. And when they start talking about it, like, if you could imagine what your face would look like, that Will's face, that's what it would look like. And he looked like he was in
man. You know what's crazy about it? You know what I honestly just thought about? She's in the middle. Will's hurt. August Alsina's hurt. But it seems like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? She got what she wanted.
Yeah.
She got what she needed. She needed this. She needed that. And you got two grown-ass men crying on fucking national TV.
I think Will was embarrassed. His face to me looked like he was embarrassed. Like, you know, like you said, Brandon, he knew what happened. He knew it happened. But I think the embarrassment of having to go before the world to discuss it, I think that's what his face said to me. Like, I think it was embarrassment, and I think it was like, if you could look behind that fake smile on his face, it's probably him with the angry face, like, man, I should crack your motherfucking forehead because we gotta go through this, and that's just the way I feel like he just, like, I can't believe we going through this shit right now. We got to spend time on this. So that's what I took from it.
She was sloppy with it, yo. She was sloppy with it. He had to go through Tupac. Yeah, now he had to go through Alsina, and now it's like, yo, you dragged me through all of this. Like, part of me feels like he was looking for some, I don't know if he was looking for it, but like, almost like he wanted the world to hear how selfish Jada was being to kind of like make himself feel better. But the more she kept talking, the more hurt that nigga looked. So, my God.
The part when she was, like I said, the part when she was talking about, you know, she just wanted to feel good. So good.
Like, yo, when he was saying that, when she was saying that, I'm like, I would have been like, what? Like, because you know what everybody thought was, like, he was tearing them skins up. You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody thought was when she said that. Like, wait, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, a lot of things didn't sit well with me with that. with that whole conversation.
Yeah, we watched it. Me and Sinead was watching it together. Like just the clip, I think it was like 2 minutes or so, and I was like, that was like cringeworthy. Like especially like as a married man, I'm looking at this like another married man sitting there listening to his wife not really own up to the fact that she slept with her son's friend,
Right.
calling it an entanglement, saying that they reached out and helped August. Like, just say you slept with another dude and keep it, and then y'all figure out what y'all are gonna do. But she kept making excuses, and then knowing that like the Tupac thing has been in the backdrop all this time, like with their like his own like Will and Jada's own daughter writing a letter to Tupac saying, "I wish you were here to make my mom happy." Like for your daughter to know she feels that way about a man that was dead before she was even born, like
for better or worse, bro.
That was sickening, man. For him, like I said, for him to sit there, and I mean, as another man, for him to sit there, look at that, hear all of that, it kind of discredited everything that he's most likely has done. Like you think, Will Smith actually set out when he was, proposed to her or, wanted to marry her, like that he got to a point where he didn't want to do right by her or he wanted to make her unhappy. That wasn't his goal. You know what I'm saying? So like for him to sit, to hear that, to hear the situation of Pop, for her to sit there and to like literally be bawling, crying, you know what I mean? Like, and talking about another man, like, then on top of that, after, the situation with August, whatever, and like, so I'm sitting there looking at the discussing about it, and just like you said, like she's trying to justify that she fucked another boy, another dude, you know what I mean, that they brought into the house, and try to make it seem as if like, it was kind of his fault, or like, she just wanted to feel a certain way, or, she was feeling so bad, like, yo, that's gut wrenching, man. And I understand that, you go through situations in marriage or whatever, and you have your ups and downs, but for him to sit there, man, and just like listen to all that and to take all that, and like I said, she's in the middle. Of course, you saw you saw the interviews with August. He's fucking, his hair is like, his shit is like cotton candy. You know what I'm saying? You can already tell he has the astrology sign, and you can already look and tell he's already just depleted from the shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you bring Will in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And like he just looks destroyed about it. Like he has to sit there and talk about these transgressions on television. You know what I mean?
What I think? I think with Will, I don't think that. I do think that she loved Will. I think she probably still loves Will. What I also think is that Will probably wasn't ultimately who she wanted to be with, but Will was Will Smith, right? Like if you get a shot at Will Smith, probably her family, everybody's saying, yo, we's Will Smith. And she probably went along with that. And Will gave her as much, everything they could give her, but she just never was happy. And so she kept trying to find that happiness other places, just like with August Alsina.
Well, okay. So listen, to me, the interesting part about the conversation, right? When she said what led to the entanglement, right? Her and Will was separated or going through a separation. And Will said, I was done with your ass, right?
Yeah, so I was wondering what's got them to that point.
Right. So that brings up two different questions that I have about that. One, and Misha brought this up to me as well. One, did he catch them in the midst of this before it actually popped off, and that's why he was done with her? Or what did she really do? For someone to say something like that as strongly as he did, like, yo, I was done with your ass. She did something else to lead to that whole, to lead to them being in that separated state. That was interesting. And then also, Will tried to draw her into saying what really happened, because he said to her, I think we need to tell the people what led to this. And she was like, I did. I told him it was an entanglement. So
and he was like, an entanglement?
Yeah, then he was like, an entanglement. So
she used that term again later on in the interview.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to, I guess, draw it out. I guess he was like, okay, she's not getting what I'm saying, so she's not going to talk about what led to the separation. But you could tell he wanted all of that out there. Now, I think by her response that entanglement started slightly before this separation between them two, and Will caught wind of it, and that's what he was done with her because listen, you messing with this young boy that we invited into our house that's friends with our kids, and you know I feel like that entanglement she's speaking of started before they actually had their separation.
Well, I think so, but I think he might have also been done because of all the Tupac stuff. Like you can't compete with a dead person, and Tupac is Tupac. Like his images and his influence is everywhere. And if he's got that kind of influence still over Jada, and even Will's own children, he could have been at that point been like, "Look, our daughter knows about this stuff with you. Like you need to check that," and she didn't. And then August Alsina comes along, and I mean, I don't know, man. I do want to add this part. When we did this podcast initially, Brandon, you were saying that those pictures didn't look as bad as Black Twitter thought or as we thought. And now, when he
I did say that. They look, but you know that's the culture. That's the way. I don't know. I mean, people do take like pictures like that when they're just look. All right, I said the shit.
I got a question for y'all though. Now that we spoke, because when we did the episode before, we also asked about this. So now that we know that it quote unquote wasn't so much of an open relationship, that Will gave his, according to them, Will did not give his blessing. It was during the separation that they that this happened. What do we now think that August's motive was now? What do we think
selling
his motive
records
was?
It was always records.
You said that in the first episode.
He only talks about it when an album's coming out.
Yeah, you did say this in the first episode. So I think his motive now looks a little shaky. You know what I'm saying?
His motive when he said he didn't want his character to be called into question, dude, you slept with a married woman. Your character is called into question, and then you went on an interview with Angela Yee and told everybody. Like, how is your character not called into question? I don't care if Jada was down. You knew she was married, and you knew you was her son's best friend. Like, come on, man.
It looked like Jada put that ooh-wop on him too, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't blame it all on August though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on, dog. No, it's split. But come on, man. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, just like her ass knew what she was doing. When she
no doubt. But he can't say, well, my character is not in question. No, your character is absolutely in question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no yeah.
I think mentally he's trying to tell himself some of the shit that he said to kind of make it feel like it's okay. But the shit, he was wrong too. And then he's double wrong, I feel like, for even speaking on it. That now that it's happened.
Look, man,
it happened 5 years ago. He's super wrong for even talking about it now.
And then
you're going over there to play 2K with Jaden, and you slipping in Will and Jada's bedroom. Like, come on, man.
It sounds like a damn porn.
Yeah.
I slept with my friend's mom.
The other fact of like saying that like Will gave him the blessing.
That was wild too.
Yeah, I think that was him in his mind. He telling himself in his mind to try to justify what he was doing. You know, I think ultimately, Jada put the ooh-wop on him, and he got sprung up, and because she said, I haven't spoken to him since. So it feels like
she's lying, bro.
you know, the more stuff that come out.
She talked to him in 4 years, really?
That's what she said, bro. That's what she said.
That doesn't even make any sense.
The more information that comes out, yo, the more I'm leaning towards, yo, Jada was using this nigga, yo. the more that comes out, yo, the more I believe that. So, like, I had a conversation outside of this about the situation after we recorded our first episode, and there was new light brought to my attention. I was talking to Tracy about it, and from a woman's perspective, she was saying that pictures, like new pictures, was leaked of Alsina. So she was like, "Yo, we already knew what it was. Jada was taking advantage of a young strapping lad or whatever, you know." Because when she talked about, yo, her and Will were like, yeah, well, at first it was just, we were trying to heal him. It was like, yeah, all right, whatever. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. And you know what they say? They say, women know within the first like few moments whether they're gonna give you some or not. So Jada knew when she met this dude, she at least was attracted to him.
So
so it could, and you see her warpath. I mean, she had grown ass men. I mean, these are celebrity men who women throw themselves at, and she's got these mugs on here crying. I mean, just looking terrible.
Now I will say this: I'm not naive to think Will wasn't beating something up too.
Yeah, but you know,
I think Will was doing his thing too. So I think that's eased this whole thing for him.
Was he doing his thing, or was he? Was he responding to what Jada was doing to him? If one person starts cheating, am I doing my thing now? If I go out and try to do the same thing that you're doing to me?
I mean, listen, they're both are high profile, but we would agree that Will is the higher of the profile of the two, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
I think Will has been in different situations than she has. I think Will was probably doing his thing all along because he said they, admitted they were young. They got together real young. They started to learn things about each other and themselves as they went, as they were going along in their relationship. And he said, I think he was trying to be funny, but I think it was one of those things where you try to be funny and the shit doesn't work. Where he said, "Yeah, I got to get you back," and she was like, "Yeah, no, you already did." So you got me back plenty. She was like, "You already did plenty of times." And he was like, "Yeah, you might be right." So I think they've had some issues in their relationship. I think they did a good job of keeping that fairly well anyway, keeping that out of the limelight. But I think, I don't think for 1 minute that Will wasn't doing this thing either. But that's not to give Jada a pass. I feel like if it's somebody, it's cheating. If your lady cheat on you, it's going to hurt altogether, right? But I think it hurts even more if you find out she's cheating with somebody that you both welcomed into your home. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the sting for him in this situation because, all right, you cheating with somebody else that, I don't really know or whatever like that. But then, you cheating with somebody that we both have welcomed into our home and we've opened up ourselves to this dude. I think it hurts even more for him in that situation.
Yeah.
I think what really hurts him is that he seeing it as, he wasn't enough for her. Like he didn't do it for her. I think
that
probably eats at him more so because that part he's had to deal with not just somebody we brought it to her. He had to deal with it with Tupac. Like he probably feels like bad insecure about himself.
That's what I'm saying.
Then she got a young boy too. She got like a YBNA dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you like go like she got like an NBA like Corday or somebody. Like it ain't like some dude that like you went and like jumped off and got like a certain status like Will Smith. And I get get to a point, but like
YB and Corday, all right, yo.
Yeah, YB, I like him. I like him. I'm just because he's young. That's all I'm just saying. I'm not saying because I'm just saying like it has to affect him. He's a middle-aged man. He's pretty much has touched the world. He's done so much. And then know the fact that like you said, someone that you brought in to help, like someone that you actually brought in to assist and help, like you know what I mean? Like that's someone you brought in the house, man. That's devastating,
What's also crazy is like now, like August, like we haven't heard nothing from August Alsina for years. Album comes out, does the interview, now he's jumping. But last night he was on Twitter arguing with Keke Palmer. Like I know people are saying he's got some issues and whatever's going on with the dude. Like all of this just seems ridiculous, like all of it. And I think Will and Jada, they tried to blame Black Twitter to a degree, but like Black Twitter didn't put it out there. August put it out there because y'all house wasn't in order. And of course, black folks are going to laugh and joke about it. But then you go on the red table and then you make it even worse. Like you can't, this is something Jada brought all of this on.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Look, she got what she wanted. She's sitting in the middle, fucking like she's, fucking Yoda. And at the end of the day, fucking Will's hurt. Fucking August Alsina's hurt. And at the end of the day, her ass got what she wanted. She's trying to be justify.
She only got part. Look, a woman like that, yo. Like I said, like I tweeted earlier, yo. If I was Will, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it. Not because I don't think that. Well, she can say she loves me, and whether she really feels that way, whatever. But she don't strike me as the type that like. Whatever itch she was trying to scratch before, I think it's still itching. That itch.
I hope it's not the wrong kind of itch.
Yeah, me too. But you keep fucking around, it might be that itch too. But here's what's real interesting to me that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't really care what they end up doing. That's their lives. But you read some of these comments and some ladies talk about how like Jada's winning. Like, really? Is she winning? Is she winning?
That's ridiculous.
Is she winning?
Yeah, but she looks stupid.
Like she's on a warpath, and on that trail behind her are the broken hearts of black men. But if women see that as winning, then hey,
well, you're about to start a whole nother topic because. I do feel if it was the opposite way around, if it was Will, he wouldn't be winning so much. But I want to ask you a question, Brandon, because So you think that you feel like Jada she still wants to be out there, like she's not done with whatever. You wouldn't trust her, even though it happened 4 or 5 years ago. You think that Jada is still. Would still be out there doing her thing or trying to do her thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of I don't want to know if it's engraved, but it's engraved in her current mindset. It appears to me that this is the way things. She's supposed to have the freedom to explore whatever the heck she wants to explore for herself, and regardless of what damage she does to other people, the excuse is I was trying to find myself. I needed this. I needed to feel good. It's been a long time since I felt good. So as long as what I didn't hear was, I'm sorry. Maybe I missed that part.
No,
maybe they did that offline. I don't know. But it just seems that she's gonna have, she feels so much satisfaction from helping somebody heal that it sounds like that she's gonna try to help somebody else heal again. Whenever she has, Will doesn't do it for her. And it's clear that she is on a mission to satisfy whatever her spirit has her want to do. So, I think this shit's gonna happen again and again and again.
I mean, she fought a nigga with skinny jeans, bro. So I mean,
yeah. Like you say, cotton candy hair. Like
look, she's talked about in the past. She's had some issues growing up, so like she had to kind of raise herself. And sometimes, if that foundation isn't there, it can lead to other things long term into adulthood. That it appears there's some of that. I do think that she was really close with Tupac, and losing a friend the way that Tupac died. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt you. So I understand how that also might have caused issues, but I agree with you, Brandon. I don't think that Will does it for her. I think he provides a status because he's Will Smith, but behind the status, I don't think that he's everything that she really wanted. And so you have what you have going on right now. So maybe she is winning. Red Table Talk had 173,000 views the other day, I think. So people are talking about it. Would they be talking about it if it wasn't for this? I don't know.
How bad was that their ending?
I didn't watch. I just watched like 4 minutes.
Yo, we talking about what they like slapped hands?
Yo,
the dap?
Yeah, what she said. we what did she say? We ride together, we die together. Bad marriage for life.
Is that what she said? That's why that was trending.
They both said that. It was like, what? Like,
Oh, yeah.
yo, you could tell it was like one of those situations where they had some flubs. And I get it, they on the spot. But it's one of those, they had a couple of those moments within that conversation where I think they were trying too hard to make light of it to show that they are okay and they are past it. And then moments like that happen where you say
Will's eyes said it all.
I agree. Will did not want to be there. He did not want to be there, dog. He did not want to be there. You could tell. I saw a man that probably blessed her out about, yo, this your shit? This shit?
He don't have to go on there.
I think he felt he had to because his name came in it. And I think he felt like he had to be there to show that they are okay, whether they fronting or not. I think that they had to. I think he felt he had to do it. But I agree. I mean, I think if Will wouldn't have been on there, it would have been a whole nother conversation. Well, where was Will? When is Will going to talk? So I feel like they both felt they could get it out of the way right there at one swoop in 12 minutes or whatever it was that they were talking for.
Now, I will say this. The one saving grace or whatever you want to call it for me for Jada is that, you know, she appeared to be doing this during a time where they both weren't really messing around with each other. Like Will said, he was done with her. They might have been legally married, but from an emotional and physical or whatever standpoint, they seem to agree that they were not together. Although Will still look hurt. Like I really feel, and I said this on the last episode too. Like I feel like Jada's the one that's like pushing this openness shit. Like
that's
in one instance it's like I feel bad for Will, but in another instance it's like like brother.
That's another thing, not to cut you off, that I found interesting about this conversation. It seemed like they tried to dispel the open relationships narrative over top of their relationship, because they were quick to say, "Oh, this happened when we were taking a break from each other," or you know, when he made the comment, "I got to get you back," and she like, "No, you're not. No, you can't," or whatever. Like I felt like they were trying to dispel that whole open narrative over their relationship, which I thought was interesting, because if it is an open relationship, I feel like this would be the time to say it. Even if you say, hey, 4 years ago, we decided that we were going to try to have an open relationship to make us whatever, however you want to fucking spend it. Because they from before this happened, they were spending this shit as their life partners and shit like that. So I feel like that would be the time to do it. But I found that interesting that they kind of stayed away from that. It felt like they tried to dispel that whole rumor and notion that they were open. So,
well, you know, look.
I know Will probably, when he found out, he probably was looking like, yo, you fucking dude with skinny jeans, yo.
He knew the whole time.
Either way you slice it, bro, it's gonna hurt you more when it's somebody that you know walked in your house. It's somebody that you know you talk to, or somebody that you know you've helped in one way or another. It's going to hurt, and I feel like that. I don't give a shit how many women Will has been with on his own or on the side or whatever the hell, or while they were on the break. Every man, the male ego cannot handle that scenario, and especially when it's somebody that you, like I said, you let into your home. So that to me was showing that pain on that man's face.
Look, I think it's a bit of it's a ridiculous scenario that their business is out in the streets. They got to figure it out. For any married couple, I hope that they can figure it out and both go on to be happy together or separate. They have to figure that part out, but it's ever evolving, man. So I would imagine more news will keep coming out over the next week. So I think that's a good way to close out.
Yes, sir. So, this is definitely our shortest show in history. I would probably, I would bet money on that. But it's short and to the point.
Yeah, I just say this. And I'm done. I'm interested to see now going forward. Will, when he comes up into a situation, is where he's got an opportunity, he meets somebody who he's starting to feel feelings for. Is he gonna be like, nah, I'm married, or is he gonna be thinking, you know what? She had to find herself. I need to find myself with this one. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
We'll close out on that note, folks. Until next time,
next time.
we're out.
We out.